Hey everyone, welcome back to Apollo Art Analysis. In today's episode, we're going to be studying a piece by the multidisciplinary artist known as Atom Eli, and in this episode, we're going to be looking at the format of the family portrait. We're also going to explore the impact of technology on the 21st century family, so let's jump right into it. So at first sight, we see what appears to be, about 4 different family members, but their heads are replaced with televisions. It is rather a strange sight which may, shock or even scare some who initially view this. You'll notice, the placement in center certainly draws our eye within the work, and you also may notice the sense of form here, right? That is a triangular form, so it does feel quite balanced and orderly within that, even though it is quite strange, right? And of course, space is very important here. This is what we call a portrait or a portraiture. So of course, we see the full body portrait or a family portrait. Really shows an intimate visual experience with the viewer here. And of course, I would say we're face to face, but they have no face. We'll talk a bit more about that here in a second. Of course, the most dominant color here is going to be green. Green is a very, of course, natural color. It kind of has this emerald tone within here, and there is this slight accent created by the additional colors such as, blue, purple, green. Other additional colors in here are upon that initial green base, so that's pretty important as well. You may also notice the impact of texture here. We see this quite clearly from the drapery on the dress to the kind of velvet suit. All of this immerses us quite well within the work at hand. I wanted to ask you, how do y'all feel when you first see this work? Of course, to understand this scene, we must look at the concept of surrealism, or the surreal, greater than real. Surrealism has its roots in Dadaism and absurdism, so you can typically see the absurd or anything that is impossible to create in real life here, and this is applied to this canvas quite distinctly and quite clearly as well, right? Within this display, you see the televisions replacing the heads. Of course, that is impossible. It is, not something that you would see in day-to-day life because, of course, if we did that, we would be dead. So this is a very symbolic scene, and we'll talk a bit more about that right here in a sec. Of course, the head is very symbolic, right? It is a source of knowledge, attention, and thoughts. So anything that shows the head or the eyes more broadly, it is very important and quite symbolic as well. Go back to the Egyptians, that famous eye that shows the incredible and priceless quality of attention. And within this work, we see the heads are replaced with a piece of technology. And this piece of technology, the television, is something that captures both time, knowledge, and attention as well. So you can see how it kind of replaces the symbol of the head with another symbol which captures the symbolic elements of the head or the mind as well. And so this is very important. The title of this work as 21st Century Family points to the family who has been replaced by technology in some way or another. For example, in the top left, we see the fake smile. That's quite indicative of what we're seeing within this composition. They're all kind of acting, if you will, but their minds are elsewhere. Their minds are on a piece of technology, or they're captured by something, and they're not in the present moment. Of course, when you take a family portrait, you need to be in the present moment to kind of appreciate that, or else you're going to look spaced out, you're going to look bored, you're going to look angry, and that is not going to be the result of a very good picture. But regardless, this is a very symbolic scene. Like I said, the head, what is usually seen as a source of attention and knowledge, is replaced with the television, something which captures attention and impacts our knowledge as well. There's also the element of overstimulation within this composition, right? There's this inescapable sense of technology everywhere, from the music in the store to the portals which sit in our pockets. There's so many different things you could say about technology and the way it impacts the way we think, the way we impact with knowledge, the way we interact with attention. There's so much you could really say there, but overstimulation is something that is almost inevitable in the modern day. Of course, our attention spans are getting shorter and shorter due to this rapid, influx of technology, this constant barrage of media, and that is really important to understand. Of course, we need to parse the good knowledge from the bad knowledge, the useful knowledge from the unuseful knowledge, or anything that does not serve a greater or higher purpose for our individual selves. But yeah, like I said, this is a very symbolic composition. Attention and technology is everywhere, so make sure to pay very close attention to what you do pay attention to. And so why don't I ask you, what do y'all see when you view this composition, or what comes to mind, whenever you listen to all of that, whenever you consider the symbolic impact of this scene, I really want to know what y'all think of this composition. This work was requested in a showcase request, months ago, so I could finally get around to it. And I'm really glad I did. This is a very symbolic scene, and it was an absolute pleasure to study it. Original artist Atom Eli works with a lot of different scenes. He works with the metaphysical. He creates these digital edits. He, works with the vaporwave. He works with surrealism. There's so much you could say about this original artist, so I really hope y'all enjoyed. We talked about so many different things, from the order and the layout of this composition, quite orderly. We talked about the, impact of technology, the impact of this overstimulation of media around every turn. We talked about the colors within this composition, concept of a portrait, very intimate, of course, the family portrait as well, and of course, the broader impact of technology on family values as well. So, like I said, I really hope y'all enjoyed. If y'all did, go check out the original artist, Atom Eli. My name's Apollo. This was Apollo Art Analysis, and I'll see y'all on the next episode. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you'd like to support our work directly, please check out our Apollo community tokens. Apollo Art Exchange is an ecosystem of art appreciation which elevates artists each and every day. Thanks for listening.